What's up, 49er fans? I'm Jason Aponte. I am joined by Anthony Spice Adams, former 49er. You guys know him from IG. His comedy reels are great. Spice, what's up, man? It's good for you to take some time and speak with me for a little bit.
Yeah, man, I am ripping and running, trying to get things prepared for the kids. I'm a pretty hands-on dad, so I'm back and forth trying to make sure things is good, trying to get ready for practice. Up in a minute, I'm volunteer coaching at my son's high school, so it's a pretty hectic time for me right now.
That's awesome. Yeah, my daughter starts school tomorrow actually as well too. So I know all about it. I mean, I only have one, but it's good to hear that you're a hands-on dad. So Spice, I wanted to start with the Hyundai's Divine Journey campaign.
Mhm.
And if you could just tell the viewers just a little bit more about that and what that entails.
Well, my good friend, Unique Jones Gibson, she thought it'd be a great idea to kind of showcase fraternities and sororities. And when she asked me about it, I said, "Yeah, I'd like to get involved." So it's called Divine Journeys, and it's through Because of Them We Can and Hyundai, and it's a great um, initiative that they're rolling out. And I just wanted to be a part. When you think of my fraternity, talk about the principles all the time: manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift. And it coincides with the journey, so to speak, like the journey of your life, So, and all of our fraternities and sororities combined are the Divine Nine. So these are the divine journeys that each one of us respectively go through.
And you're a member, and please correct me if I don't say it correctly.
Omega Psi Phi.
Omega Sci-Fi,
I'm not
right?
going to
So
allow you to say it incorrectly.
I love that. My question would be, talk to me about the importance of Black Greek organizations and how it helped develop you personally and professionally.
Well, I said in the article as well as the video that my mom raised me. It was I came from a single parent home, and my mom raised me in Detroit, Michigan. It's the in the inner city. There's gang violence, there's shootings, there's robberies, there's all of these things that go on. But in the midst of that, my mom always taught me to be a man. She was a teacher, so she was a stickler in my handwriting. She was a stickler in me doing my homework, like all of this stuff. So she instilled in me the principles that that built Omega Psi Phi. So she instilled that in me already: manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift. She instilled that in me already. The fraternity enhanced the principles that were already there, that my mom was just, she was just, planting the seeds, and the fraternity grew that, So I just gravitated towards being in Omega Psi Phi. And with me playing football, there were always like these men around me because I didn't grow up with that in my household. My dad, that he went to prison when I was 4. So I didn't have that male figure in my life. So with me playing football, it seemed like all of these coaches like gravitated towards me. And it seemed like all of these coaches and friends of the family and everything, they all seem to be men of Omega. And so I was like, man, there's something about these guys, man. And my first visit at Penn State, everybody wanted to talk about football and the weight room and the field and the stadium. And I'm like, where are the cues? Where are the cues at? So it was great that I got a chance to, um, you know, be a part of this organization and, try to enhance it the best way that I can.
That's awesome. And I'm glad that you kind of talked about football. So can we pivot to a little bit of your time when you were a 49er? Some of your fondest memories as a 49er, drafted in the second round
Yeah.
by the San Francisco 49ers. I think a lot of people, because of your online persona, they forget that you were a baller, man. Like, you played 9 years in the league. That's no small feat. But being drafted by, our beloved 49ers in the second round, tell me about some of your fondest memories as a Niner.
Oh man, it was great. I just wish we would have won more games,
Right.
And when I came in, you had guys like Bryant Young and Julian Peterson and T.O. and Jeff Garcia and Garrison Hurst. So I had some dogs on my team, man. And, you know, they took me under their wing and, you know, they taught me about life. They taught me more about off the field stuff than they did on. And, you know, just I learned so much from Bryant Young that by the time I got to my fourth year, when I was with the Chicago Bears, you know, you always need coaching, but I was already so coached up with BY that like I knew how to take on double teams. I knew how to be a professional. I knew how to run to the ball and like all of that stuff, man. So me being a Niner was great, man. I love San Francisco. I love the diversity. Me coming from Detroit and then going to Penn State where there's all this agriculture and everything like that. Then going to San Francisco with all that diversity and everything. I was on cloud nine, man. I love my time there. And it was great. The only thing, it was like the area that we were at in Santa Clara, it was like a little bit of Raiders fans there. And I was like, come on, dog. Like, we are literally right down the street, man. And y'all wearing all this black. Come on, man.
Yeah. That
love my time there, man.
That
Loved it.
battle of the Bay stuff is really serious, man. That's something because I'm
I
not from
found
there.
out.
Yeah, I'm not from there, so I don't really feel it. But I've been a 49er fan my whole life on the East Coast.
Yeah.
You know, that type of stuff I always get asked, like, oh, don't you hate the Raiders? I'm like, actually, they don't bother me. But now I get it. Now that's a little bit more insight with that. Any good TO stories? Anything that you know, because I think there's a large perception about TO
you
like
know what?
that.
I have nothing but good TO stories.
I figured
because he's a great teammate. You know, I think the media portrayed him to be this big monster, man. But anytime I was with T.O., we were playing dominoes, we were playing spades. He would invite us to all of his parties and things like that. Like, I got nothing but great memories with him. He was playing ping pong, you know, just talking trash with them, man. He was a great teammate, man. I love T.O., man. That's my dude. I still
that's
keep
great
with him to this day, man. He's a good guy.
That's great, man. And again, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head too, like with the whole media perception and everything, painting him out to be something a little bit more.
Great
So I'm
dude.
glad to hear that.
Great dude, man. Anytime, like sometimes you would go to the say I left the facility and I was like, man, I left my wallet. You know, I go back and T.O. would be in there like 10 o'clock at night, just like with the music blasting in there working out, doing something that you'd be like, I can't do that. Like, how does he, you know, like he'd be in there working out 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock. I mean, the dude was a beast, man. Great teammate.
That's great to hear, man, because he's definitely one of my favorite players as well too, and I really do think he's been, you know, unfairly, you know, talked about. But I wanted to ask you about the current 49er team because you've been through training camp, you played in the league, you understand the importance of training camp, ramping yourself up, getting yourself ready. This Nick Bosa situation right now, I mean, I'm not going to speak on the negotiations because I have no idea what's going on. But what are some of the things that could be a problem for Nick if, let's say, we get in an hour, hey, he signed and he's going to be ready to go for week one, but he hasn't been in training camp? Like, is there any sort of concern or is there any way that can negatively affect him if he hasn't been in training camp?
You know, this day and age, with the technology that's out with you know, all of these like you can go to, let's say, dang, it's a fly. You see that?
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, you could easily go to Phoenix or something like that and work out and, you know, just do a lot of running and a lot of technique work and stuff like that where you're a professional now. So, you know, wherever you go, you got to kind of simulate training camp or whatever the case may be and take care of yourself and take care of your body, which I'm sure that's what he's doing. But, you know, this day and age, when you are holding out for the contract that you want, I think it's best for your teammates to just kind of stay out of that.
Yep. And I think they've done that.
Because you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know, like, the type of contract that he's holding out for. You don't know what's been negotiated. You don't know what's been said. You know, the only thing you can do is support your guys.
Yep.
Make sure that they're working out. Make sure that they stay motivated. And I think Nick Bosa is doing that. Like, he know how important he is to the 49ers. He know how important he is to the league. He knows the legacy that he's trying to leave, being the Bosa brother. So I'm pretty sure throughout this whole situation that he's running, that he's lifting, that he's in tip-top shape. And whenever they sign him, he'll come in, and it won't even skip a beat, I'm sure. But I've been involved where there was a lockout in the NFL, and I kind of had to hold out before I got my contract situation. And it's tough to not be with your teammates, but at the same time, you do have to understand that it's a business. And everybody goes through different contract negotiations, but at the same time, that this guy is going to be in tip-top shape when he comes back.
All right, that's good. From your mouth to God's ears. Let's go, Nick. Just get it done. I want to ask you. I want to ask you about your comedy, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm a huge fan, and I
I
think
appreciate
that
that.
I think that what you do is so relatable. The haircut reels, how your mood changes when you have a haircut, right?
Why
Exactly.
not?
Like, I mean, that's so relatable, right? Like, there's few better feelings than walking right out of a barbershop. I think that's so relatable. I think it's hilarious. The what you say now, Chuck character,
Yeah.
the guy with the Bluetooth. I think that is so relatable as well too. And then probably one of my favorite is like the smooth guy getting out of the car. You got the
Yeah.
suit on. Yeah, like those are so good. Tell me about some of them. How do you get motivated to come up with these ideas and make it so relatable that anybody can really relate to it?
I'm motivated by entertaining, and I always wanted to entertain when I was a young kid because I'm the only child, so I always wanted people around me to be happy and smiling and having a good time, and so I gravitated towards football, and football is a form of entertainment. And so when I was done playing football, I was like, well, what am I going to do now? So then I had social media, and so all the videos that you see is what I observed coming up, like, friends of the family and my uncles and, a lot of people who lived in my neighborhood. I'm just personifying what I saw from them. So a lot of those videos are very relatable because those are people's uncles. Those are people's dads. Those are people's granddads. They're on the grill. They're getting out of the car. They're getting haircuts. They go to the barbershop not to get a haircut, but just to talk about the fight, to talk about the football game, the basketball game. And so these things are relatable because it's a part of your family. It's a part of everything that you see. And I'm motivated to do it because I get different direct messages from people that say, hey man, I appreciate you doing this video, man. I was, down and out, and I always go to your page and just laugh because it reminds me of my uncle who's no longer here. It reminds me of my dad who's no longer here. So I can go to your page and kind of fill the void because, you remind me so much of the people that I grew up in, the people that I grew up with and grew up around. So that's why I do it.
And your energy is infectious. It's hard, it seems like, to just be around you and not feel the same way. Like I love that video of you at the Sheila E concert. Like
Oh yeah.
yeah, like and that's the other thing I wanted to talk about is that, not only do I find your comedy very relatable, your music choices and tastes I absolutely relate to. Like, you're listening to Cranes in the Sky,
Yeah.
the Slum Village, right? The Quiet Storm Radio. All of these things are same kind of music I listen to, right? And I especially love the Bryson Tiller trying to catch don't, like at the right. Yeah. Have you figured it out yet, or is it just like, is it hit or miss?
I think so, and it's kind of a feel thing. Somebody was telling me like how to count and all that other type stuff, and it's kind of a feel thing. If you put me on the spot right now, I probably would not get it. It'd probably take me at least 3 times to get back to the muscle memory of things. But I love music. I grew up cleaning up to Luther Vandross and Regina Bell and Anita Baker and Earth, Wind and Fire, like all these different groups. So I've been listening to music since I was a kid. So, and I can recognize like different samples,
Mm-hmm.
like people come out with things and you're like, hold on,
Mm-hmm.
that's Evelyn Champagne. Like you remixed that. Like, so I'm really fascinated by, people sampling songs and making it their own. And, so I think that is like it's a huge rabbit hole because sometimes like if you listen to Midnight Marauders,
Mm-hmm.
one song could have 4 samples and
Yep.
all of the sound, like all of the originals are like just mind blowing. Like you listen to it and you're like, what? So he took that little part and put it into this song and mixed it with this other song and da da da. So I think Midnight Marauders is extremely underrated, and I think people should talk about it a lot more. And I think that was like 92, 90 sometime. So
yeah, one of my favorite songs on that album is Lyrics to Go. And literally what Q-Tip did was sample Minnie Riperton singing that one little part, and he just looped that in the background. And it's just, there's the way that Q-Tip samples everything and puts it all together that like he definitely should be talked about as one of the guys who really knows how to chop things up in a way that there is no Kanye West. There are no other producers that can do what he can do. I mean, without his contribution. So I'm glad you brought that up. Lyrics to Go is probably my favorite Tribe song. I mean, can't really go wrong with Midnight Marauder at all. Like the whole like way that it goes. But yeah, that's definitely my favorite.
You know what? Let me get right, man. I'm in Chicago.
Yep. Let's go. Let's go.
I got the C on. You know, I just really noticed. But I could not be the bear that I was if it wasn't for the Niners, man. So shout out to the Niners, man. Shout out to Niner Nation, man. I love y'all, man.
So, I mean, this is probably the best place because I know that you've got, you're a busy man, everything. You got to get to practice, everything. So predictions for the Niners this year. What are you thinking? Do they get back to the NFC Championship? Do they finally get
NFC
through?
West, man. We win the NFC West. Once you win the West, you win the playoffs.
Right.
So all we got to do is get hot at the right time. Man, that's it. Stay healthy, get hot at the right time, man, and anything can happen, man. Anything. Then people start to believe. Then they'll be like, oh, yeah, the Niners, da-da-da-da-da. Like, man, just win the NFC West and get hot. Stay healthy.
Absolutely.
You can't do anything about staying healthy. I mean, you could try to stretch and do like, get in the hot tub, cold tub, and yoga and all this other type of stuff. But it's a physical sport, man. So.
Absolutely. So I just want to give you an opportunity one more time to plug the Divine Journey campaign and anywhere that you can find it one more time before we let you go.
Divine Journey campaign with Because of Them We Can and Hyundai. It's a great way to showcase our fraternities and sororities of the Divine Nine. And it was a great opportunity to just shed light on my journey, and not only me, but because there's going to be other people that they interview. Everybody's respective fraternities and sororities made them who they are today, and also your upbringing. And so all of the fraternities and sororities are just enhancing what was already implemented in you, or whatever somebody had sowed the seed. And so I'm happy to be a part of it. Shout out to Hyundai, shout out to Because of Them We Can, shout out to Unique Jones Gibson and everybody involved, man. I had a great time, and I'm enjoying the rollout, and they're doing a great job, and just highlighting that.
Anthony Spice Adams, everyone, thank you so much, man. This is a pleasure, man. This is one of the coolest things I've ever done, in terms of like interviewing people, man. I'm so happy I was able to speak with you for a little while, and thank you for being gracious with your time, man.
Yes, sir. No problem, man. I'm getting back to it. I got a pork shoulder on the grill right now. Today's going to be Taco Tuesdays. Make some al pastor right now. And so the kids they're going to enjoy that. So I'll have it going while I'm at practice. Got it on slow and low, cooking it on about 220, smoking it. By the time, I get back, I can just pull it apart, put it on some tacos, and we good to go.
Multitasker, coach, comedian, former player. This man does it all. Thanks again, Spice.
All right. Yes, sir. No problem.